What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. I am John Kennedy, usually an apolitical John Kennedy. I do not lean right. I do not lean left. I'm not a MAGA Trump guy. I'm not a lefty. Neither one of these parties have cover my values. I think they're both damaging the country for different reasons. So entering this, I wanted you to know that I don't lean left or right. Neither of these parties represent my values right now. They're both doing a horrible job. So I wanted to get that out there to set the table. The DNC has a Kamala problem. They have a Kamala problem. Now, it's one they created on their own because they made her the vice president because of identity politics, not her record. Very checkered record, actually. If you look at California and her past there, not the most pristine record and reputation. But we all know what it was. You got the old white guy running for president. You got to balance that out with the young non-white girl, lady, woman, whatever. So she got that role for identity politics, and now it might come back to bite the DNC. If Biden decides to step down or whatever, his campaign donation money can only be transferred to her. It can't go to anybody else because she's a part of the ticket. So if he does decide to step down, walk away, that money only goes to her. Is that the determining factor on what they would do? I don't know, but it's going to be something they're going to have to really consider. Also, how bad does it look for the party that does all the identity politics stuff to hop over the woman of color and go with somebody else? How's that going to look? You see, when you do all that identity politics stuff, sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you. What will the pushback be if Biden drops out and they want to nominate somebody else and hop over Kamala? Oh, that's not going to be pretty. Now, I understand there's a new poll that shows Kamala would do a little better against Trump than Biden would. I would kind of expect anyone to poll higher than your grandma's corpse at the funeral, which is essentially what Biden was in the debate. It doesn't surprise me she's 2 points higher than death. Here's the issue. She has the personality of a rock. Everything she does and says is cringeworthy. And I've never heard her put together one intelligent, cogent political thought ever. Ever. She is not a strong politician. She's very strong at navigating the political landscape to get where she wants to be. She's very strong at that. In terms of actual ideas, I've never heard her say one single intelligent political thought ever. She repeats the same lame talking points, has no answer to anything real, has a cackle that'll haunt you in your sleep. She's one of the worst politicians I've ever encountered. I've literally never, and I don't lean left or right, I've never heard her say one intelligent political remark ever. She's so cringeworthy and just, people don't like her. People don't like her. And I understand why. She has no charisma at all. So that's the problem here. Only she could get all the donations because she's tied to the ticket. If they go with somebody else, I don't know what happens with all that money, but it didn't go to that person. Where does it go? Is it just gone? I don't know. So you got a real Kamala, whatever. You got a real problem there. If you run with her, I'm not sold. That's a total winning deal. And if you hop over, there's a lot of people that aren't going to like that your identity politics played against you on this one. Let's extrapolate this out. Let's say it isn't Harris. Who else is it going to be? Newsom? So here's the good and the bad with Newsom. Younger guy, very smooth talker, sharply dressed. He's got the good hairdo. He's not ancient. He's on the left. He's got a lot of that stuff people don't like that Biden doesn't have. Youth and good looking and sharp, and he could debate and talk and all that polish, that good hairline, all that stuff. He's got all that. Here's the issue with Newsom. Most of the country thinks he's an absolute unhinged lunatic, and his state sucks. His state is scary. Regular people around the country look at California and think it is a toxic wasteland dump due to leftist politicians where there's just free drugs for everybody. You want a heroin kit? Sleep on the street? You want to rob a store? Take garbage bags full of stuff and leave? No big deal. There's no law and order here. Do whatever you want. People think California is a cesspool nightmare. So I don't know if Californians love him or not or whatever. But I'm just telling you, the majority of regular, normal Americans look at California as a nightmare, and he's the one directing the nightmare and apparently loves seeing the nightmare and isn't fixing it. That's the issue. Newsom's a smooth talker and a good looker, but he's an unhinged leftist. And I don't know if the country's ready to vote for that for president. You want the whole country to have the problems California has as a state? Not interested. Most people, I don't think, are. Who else you got? I'm in Illinois. J.B. Pritzker, I hear him being talked about. Number one is Chicago's falling apart, losing money. It's dangerous. It's more dangerous than ever. Oh, John, the stats say that it's down. I lived in that city. I worked in that city a bunch of years. The areas that you at least knew were safe 5, 6, 10 years ago, they're no longer safe. It's just not safe anywhere anymore. Hemorrhaging money. Companies are leaving downtown. They don't feel safe. They're losing money. They don't want to be there, whatever. The politicians don't support the police. They arrest people for violent crime. They let them out right again the next day. It's a mess. The money is a nightmare in Illinois. That we don't have money for anything. So I hear J.B. Pritzker. What about that? Here's what's funny. The Democrats always talk about being for the regular people, being for that we want to represent the regular families. We understand regular Illinois people's pain. J.B. Pritzker is a morbidly obese billionaire. He comes from one of the richest families in America. That guy could not be further from representing the regular people. All the Democrats talk about is just regular people and getting rid of all this, favoring the rich and everything. This guy's literally from a billionaire, one of the richest families in America, and that's why he is where he is. And then you're going to sell me he's for the regular guy when he's a Nepo baby all the way? And I don't care what anybody says. The fact that he's morbidly obese, just like Chris Christie, that hurts you in a presidential situation. It just does. And you could say Trump doesn't look good either, and he doesn't. He ain't nearly as round as JB or Christie. And you could say that that's like immature. It matters, though. That image matters. So JB would stand for the opposite of everything these people say they're about. A billionaire's kid running for president. Wow, real original. How about Mayor Pete? Mayor Pete. Booty juice, according to Biden. That's not mine. That's not me saying it. Joe Biden literally said transportation, Pete Booty Juice. He called him Pete Booty Juice, not me. Look it up. Booty Juice has the personality of a brick wrapped in sandpaper. This guy has negative charisma. He literally has reverse Riz. And he used to be in South Bend, Indiana. And I have a lot of ties to Notre Dame, located in South Bend, Indiana. They didn't like him there. He did a bad job. He didn't even do a good job at his own little area. He's talking about bridges are racist and subway tunnels are racist, all this stuff. That guy's disconnected from reality, and it's all the identity politics stuff with him too, being gay and all this. That's his whole thing. None of these people are in line with just regular, hardworking American people. And no, I don't think Trump represents that group either. But he's not the one who can barely stay alive every day. Like, I don't mean politically, I mean physically, literally. That's just not where we're at. So that's why this is a different discussion. So does this leave Whitmer as the best option? Does this leave her as the best option? She's a woman. Maybe you could put a person of color as the VP because you got to have one in there somewhere because of the identity politic thing. They set this all up. Now they got to follow through. So if you're going to hop over Kamala and do Whitmer, then you got to go with somebody on color as the vice president to balance that out. Also, she runs a state that's going to be highly contested, and that would appeal to them when nominating her as well. Maybe she's the best answer here, but like none of the obvious ones sound good to me at all. I've never heard Kamala say one intelligent thing ever. She was supposed to be the border czar. Remember that? And what have you had? A nightmare at the border where even the left is saying, yeah, it's a problem. She was the border czar, and it was the worst numbers we've ever had, ever. Good job. I've never heard her say one intelligent political thought ever. Ever. Newsom has the look. But most of the country literally thinks he's an unhinged lunatic by the way he's running California into the ground. Or should I say into the ocean? Whatever. JB, come on, man. No way. You don't get to tell me you're the party for the regular guy and then push a billionaire's kid. No way. So I don't know what you do. Do you convince Jon Stewart to do it and he'll win by a landslide? You could do that. Whitmer may be your best bet here, but there's just not a lot of good options here. And so I think you got a real Kamala problem. He may poll higher than Biden against Trump right now, but I think that's only compared to a corpse at a wake in a casket. So I don't know where they go from here, but they put themselves in this situation by how they've done things, and now there's no easy way out. Let me know what you think.